Graduates, families, and friends, my name is Mandy Savitz-Romer, and I am the Faculty Director of the Prevention Science and Practice Program. I am honored to represent the PSP faculty and staff today to congratulate you and your families on the completion of your master's degree in education. Although we are here to celebrate, this celebration is bittersweet. It's hard to celebrate when we know that so many people are suffering. While not new for many of us, in this moment, the connection to suffering feels particularly universal. In recognition of this, I would like to start my remarks today by pausing for a moment to let each of us think about people in our lives who we want to lift up. Who do you want to share this moment of joy with? To whom do you want to send energy? Who are you graduating today because of or for? Let us pause to lift up those people in our minds and our hearts. For me, graduation brings joy, in part because it is a yearly opportunity to honor the many educators in my life. Some of these educators have been famous theorists and researchers, but most of them have been everyday folks who have come into my life unexpectedly and generously shared pieces of themselves with me. Today, I'd like to thank the PSP faculty and Karen Botari, my work family, because they lift me up every day. I also want to honor each of you as an educator. I want to celebrate what you have taught me, both over the course of this year and in particular, as we have navigated learning and connection in the midst of a pandemic. You have not allowed the COVID-19 crisis to define your experience at HGSE this year. Instead, you have seized hold of it as part of your education, as a moment of learning, a time to build community, and in new and creative ways, reimagined what schools and communities can be. This was not what you signed up for, but you have made it a critical part of your journey. In PSP, we talk a lot about context. Although this may be partially a result of our love for Yuri Bronfenbrenner, it is also because we fundamentally believe that context helps shape individual and collective development. Context is like the stage on which the story of human development and education unfolds. It turns our attention away from individuals or individual problems and events and helps us ask critical questions about the structures and systems and assumptions that shape our experiences. Whether we were intimately aware of it before or not, the current pandemic has made the context of inequity in this country starkly visible. Even as this public health crisis has upended our lives and the lives of our loved ones, we know that its impact and reach have varied across community. COVID-19 has shone a bright light on structural inequality in our society, and as a result, it has been a constant reminder of how our work as educators is far more complicated than a single issue or problem. Today, regardless of where we are physically, it is easy to see how providing direct services to children, engaging young people in lessons about ethnic studies or social emotional learning, and generating new ideas through research, we must all take into account the aspects of context that keenly impact children and youth. For example, we must better see and address the differential access to health and educational resources. We must consistently and actively stand up against acts of ignorance and racism that affect African American, Asian American, Latinx, Caribbean, Indigenous, and Middle Eastern families and communities. We must ensure that all children and families have access to the material and financial resources that they need for well-being. And we must continue to address issues of mental health in our communities, many of which have been exacerbated by the current pandemic. So much harm that has come to so many during this crisis has not been the result of the virus itself, but the inequities and injustices and prolonged silence that have existed around these issues for so long. As school counselors, prevention practitioners, researchers, and educators, the context in which we work can feel challenging and, at times, insurmountable. But this spring, you have taught me that challenge can be as generative as it is destructive. Becoming educated, for you, has not just been about earning an advanced degree, it has been an act of justice. You have taken the relationships and wisdom that you began to build in the fall, and you've doubled down on your commitment to take your new knowledge and use it in service to young people, families, and communities. You have Zoomed, Skyped, FaceTimed, Google Met with students to provide them assurance and guidance and academic support. You've searched Hollis for endless hours to help your supervisors and partners learn best practices for engaging virtually. You have shifted your programming in ways, large and small, to ensure that young people can continue to experience moments of joy and agency in their lives. You have helped to complete college applications, have comforted parents and caregivers struggling at home, and have generated digital content for adolescents. Importantly, you've reached out to one another, strengthening old relationships and in moments, forging new ones. And you've been patient and kind with us, your faculty, as we struggled through our own transition to online learning. Your response to this pandemic has been a critical reminder that in challenge, there is possibility. You have helped to make this spring an education in pursuing your passion, maintaining your commitments, and giving generously. And in the process, you have reminded me that the most important lessons often do not come from books, but instead through the words and actions of dedicated change makers, students, families, educators, researchers, and others who show us new ways of thinking and being in this world. And now it is my pleasure to read to you the names of the graduates of the 2020 Prevention Science and Practice Program. Beginning with the Intellectual Contribution Award recipient this year, Ella Miriam Wexler-Mathai. Bridget Clover. Emma Fabini Cohen. Kimberly Fabian. Yuhan Fu. Taylor Vinton Garbett. Caroline Kylie Green. Jillian Greenspan. Angel Yin-Lin Groh. Anwar Hussain. Abby Morgan Highland. Clara Kang. Sakshi Kurana. Madeline Kinker. Kenneth Evans LeBlue Jr. Yinru Long. Vanessa Marie Lopez. Margaret McLennan. Frances Edith Melchor. Sandra Emanuela Okonofuwa. Melissa Picone. Shreya Prakash. Lucero Ramirez Varela. Mauricio Robert. Samantha Robertson. Carmen Rohde. Ashlyn Sepulveda. Emily Swanborg. Arman Terzian. Savannah Ray Thomas. Lucia Tu. Ron Yu Shin. Tammy Yan. Kimberly Zuniga. And the class marshal for the Prevention Science and Practice program, Matthew Clements. I wish you all the courage to do the important work, good health to keep you strong, and continued love from all of us in PSP. Congratulations to you, the Prevention, Science, and Practice Class of 2020.